Big up, everybody. Welcome to the Bantz and Wolfy show. We've got a nice action-packed show today. Maybe a couple of hot talking points. There I go. My bro, Bantz, how you doing, sir?
Some background noise.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, right. And yeah, don't worry. He'll sort it out. Don't worry. Go on.
Yeah,
How
I'm
you
good,
doing, bro?
man. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm really happy that we've actually started our own show. So for all the viewers, me and Wolf, we decided to do like a little show probably every week or so. So this is episode 1. And I'm happy that we've got some guests on as well because I might start waffling. So I'm going to need these guys to jump in when I'm talking the
Oh,
most.
God, I could do a waffle for both of us, bro. Like, I'm the Ali in this bitch, bro. I'm the talker. but yeah, definitely, and I'm happy to be doing a show with you, of course, because I've been trying to and this is actually true. I've been trying to nag this guy to do stuff for God knows how long, and now that we're finally getting down to it, it's good. And we've all got our 2 guests as well. Fuzzy, my bro in arms. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I had a busy morning at work and let off early. Honestly, thought I wasn't going to make it back because for some reason I was getting a lift back from the station, and some bloke broke down at a junction where the lights that interchange. The lights are shortest interval period from my end. They broke down on that junction, and then a bus got stuck right behind him. So we were there for a good, for a journey that usually takes about 5 minutes in the car. It took about 35 minutes, and we were not moving. So I was thinking, Christ Almighty, we're not. I am not getting back ever. But yeah, man, I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
good to be here.
Blimey. And of course, we've got our happy Geordie fan down here, who was probably happy at the weekend, but not so happy now. Big up, Andy Bell. How you doing, my brother? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having us on, mate. Similar story, been Christmas shopping with the wife and daughter, so I'm sure any married man with a daughter will know exactly how that feels.
Drained and broke. I know that feeling, bro. No.
Apologies, I will mute this mic, but just the washing machine's finishing its cycle. Apologies.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Obviously, as we talk, I know you all unmute and Drew's not a silly lad, obviously. But Bantz, you wanted to talk about the Premier League fixtures this weekend, bro. Would you like to start off, please, sir?
So, are we going to talk about the last week's fixtures? Okay, yeah. So, mainly, obviously, we're Arsenal and Chelsea fans, isn't it? So, what I'll probably start off with is let's start off with the boring game, the Brentford game, the Arsenal-Brentford game. Not much really in terms of like excitement going into the game. I always knew it was going to be a tough fixture. Going to Brentford is not easy. I'm not too far away from Brentford, by the way, so they're just up the road. It's just one of those games where it was just like.
Because I'm leaning forward, Drew.
Yeah. I was going to tell you the same thing. Like you're a bit closer.
Yeah. I'm just because I put everyone's links in the description of the chat. That's why. Give me a minute, and I'll sit back. Carry on talking. I'll sit back.
Yeah. So as I said, it's always going to be a tough game going to Brentford. As you all can see, Arsenal are not great in attack at the moment. I suppose we've got more emphasis on defending these days, and it's more a case of like 1-0 to the Arsenal, like the old George Graham days. It's how we're playing at the moment. Gabriel Jesus, he played I think 60 or 70 minutes. He didn't do much at all. I can understand that he came back from Brazil, but still, he's not someone going forward that I think ultimately is going to score that many goals. He'd be involved in a lot of the plays, but I just think he's mediocre. I think he's good at certain things, but when it comes to being a killer in front of goal, I don't think he's got it. But anyway, there's not much really a lot I want to say about the game, but I will obviously give someone their flowers who have been absolutely slating this season.
Kai Havertz!
Yeah. So
Silky
Upset
German.
Kai Havertz, you
Silky.
know.
Is that a sulky German or silky German? You said?
It's a silky German. Yeah,
Silky
Silky German. Yeah, I thought when he came on, you know, he put himself about, you know, and I kept seeing people saying, like, texting me, like, this guy's gonna score. This guy's gonna score. I was like, Kai is not scoring today, man. Then yeah, you know, as Saka does, you know, like his, you know, that one, you know, that one cross that he's got, yeah, that he's just, you know, spun it into the back, near the back post, and Kai headed it down, went through the goalkeeper's legs, and we scored. Was I happy that we scored? Yes.
Did you celebrate?
Was I? Do you know what? I'll tell you the kind of celebration I done. It was like yes, and that was it. I wasn't too like excited because
were the arms on the way up? Did they get to halfway? Were they half-mast?
No, they were like that. Yeah. You know, because I'm not going to blame Kai Havertz, but I just thought we was unimpressive the whole game, and like it was really frustrating to watch us play. So it was a relief celebration, but that's all it was. It weren't I weren't overexcited. I was happy we brought home the points.
Wait. Can I define what when you say a relief celebration, was that like he scored and then you controlled your emotions, or was that like when you're looking in the distance and you finally realize the bus is coming that is yours? You know, it's just that relief. My bus is finally here.
The bus came. The bus stopped here, and I got on the bus, mate. That's all it was. That's all it was. I'm happy the bus is there. It's raining, and I need to get home, and the bus is there on time. You know,
finally here.
Yeah, so yeah, literally, that's all I've got to say on the game. I'm happy we've got 3 points. We're on top of the league, and that's about it. Nothing more to say.
All right. Well, put it so you touched on the Arsenal game, and you answered the question what I asked you earlier, and you just answered it there. You didn't really celebrate, but you were just happy that your team got the win. Just to quickly touch on the Chelsea game. I'll ask Fuzzies about here's a minute, but literally there's not much to say about our game really. The only complaint I can say about Newcastle is, and I'm pretty sure Andy would agree with me, that Reece James's sending off was stupid in terms of you're on a yellow card, you don't need to be feeling up the Newcastle players as they're running past you. Just let him go. You're already losing 3-1. What big difference can it make? Like,
I don't get it personally. I mean, he's got the armband now, and you're setting a silly mistake. He's an experienced Premier League footballer. What is he doing? I mean, the first one was slightly harsh, but the second one's just petulant and silly.
You're right. You're doing that. You're dumb. Like, what do you expect's going to happen? But to be fair, though, Newcastle killed us in that second half. They got a little bit of luck, I think, with the deflection off of Thiago Silva's foot, because that kind of was like a. He kind of kicked. I'm not sure if he kicked the ground and he just caught the ball, but it was the weirdest. And it's the last thing you would expect Thiago Silva to do. But other than that, Newcastle absolutely killed us.
I think the scoreline flagged very slightly. I don't think you could say the game was a 4-1 battering. I think it was just a case of when we were eager to get forward. I never really seen Chelsea eager to get forward. They threatened, and it was more like when you're having an argument with someone, you better hold us back. It's one of them ones. We were straight at you, whereas Chelsea were kind of just timid for me.
They were. You're right. They were. And I think that's what happened in the second half. Eventually, you kept up with your pressure, and ours faded off, and it literally became your attack against our defense. And literally, with guys like Cucurella and that, I think the third goal killed you.
I think the Joe Linton goal killed us. Then I think.
Yeah, it did, and I'm not being funny. As soon as it hit 3-1, trust me, I was doing a watch along. You could see in our faces, it was game over when it hit 3-1. Game, set, match. But I have to say again, Newcastle, with the injuries they got, and they did it again last night, and we'll touch on the Champions League, playing well despite their injuries. Isaac still banging in goals. Isaac, however you want to describe it, he's looking the real deal as a centre forward. Not quite a Shearer yet, but like he's on the right path. He's on the right path.
17-year-old Lewis Miley looking like he's been a professional footballer for 3 years. I mean, we know locals know how highly rated he is, and everyone said he's going to be a top player. But I've just read a stat there today. I said to the wife last night, I said he's got to be one of the English players to make a debut in the Champions League. he's actually in the top 3. The other 2 are Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham, and I tell you, that's not bad company being.
No.
I'm not saying he's going to be, but all the signs are pointing towards that we've got a top talent.
Yeah, he's on the right path, and that's the main thing. And
It's his off the ball experience that surprises me. I mean, you've got a lot of players nowadays. They're all technically good, otherwise they wouldn't be professional footballers. But he's understanding of where he needs to be when he hasn't got the ball, and his eagerness to run. He's not the most athletic. That's one thing I think he'll have to improve on, getting up and down the pitch. But his position, and I mean, he blocked about 4 or 5 shots last night. It's brilliant.
Fair enough. And I have to say, hats off Newcastle. Eddie Howe's doing a good job over there. He needs to obviously take more progression. And I do feel sorry. We'll come back to the Champions League thing in a minute. But I got to ask Fuzzy, because obviously Fuzzy's team had the team of the weekend, really. And I'm not being funny. We were all sitting there looking at that Garnacho goal, like.
Oh.
So, and let me just ask him, how did you rate that Man United performance, Fuzzy?
I'd probably say performance-wise from the team, I'd actually sit there about a 6 out of 10. Like I think the scoreline reads as though you'd like, solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Everyone's doing good jobs. Everyone's putting in a shift. And I think it was a little bit of, players putting in shifts, but moments of quality are the defining points in that game. And I think, thankfully, it's our guys up front were more on point, and our goalkeeper was putting out major saves to keep us with a clean sheet. So thank goodness for Onana being on form, and the rest of the other guys at the other end of the pitch actually bagging a goal each. I mean it's not every day this season that you get to talk about Man United forward scoring goals. Before this game, the entire front line of Manchester United Football Club had a combined goals tally of 1.
Oh, was it worse? Oh, wow.
In the Premier League, just 1.
Wow. Can you wait? Can we just take that in for a minute? Yeah, I've grown up with Man United since the bloody early 90s, right? I just need to take that in a minute. All of United's forward players, right? We are approaching December. All of their 4 players.
After 12 games played, had 1 goal in the Premier League combined. Wow. There's 6 players to choose from.
You know what? That's the kind of stat I get, and I feel lightheaded. because this makes me
imagine
laugh.
How I feel. You're a Chelsea fan.
It's like imagine having all Kai Havertz up front. It's crazy. Like, oh my God. Wait, because it's funny.
I think they would actually be better than our front lines, because at least that many Kai Havertz would actually know how each other's going to play.
That's what I was just
They'll
about
be like,
to say.
I know you're going to be there. They'll
Up
play
until the weekend, Kai Havertz had scored more goals than the entire of Man United's front line. Take that in.
I mean, my wife's a Man United supporter, so I've been loving it.
These guys are winning, though.
They're winning. No, Bantz, don't ruin this, bro. don't ruin this. Just let me.
He's enjoying the moment.
No. We used to play, bro. We used to have Kai Havertz. I know how they feel. It's just nice. It's not on me. It's Michael Jackson or everyone, Nicholas Jackson. At least he's got 6 goals now. All right, okay. They weren't all fantastic, but at least he's got Nicholas Jackson. But yeah, just wow, man. But yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do you think? And I wanted to ask you this quickly. And this is kind of like, do you think that Garnacho goal silenced the Everton crowd, and that's why you guys might have had a bit of a cleaner sweep than what you thought you? Because I actually thought you were going to have a really, really, really hard game. But literally, it's one of those goals where literally it's just like everyone goes quiet, and they did. They visibly went. You heard it. You could hear a pin drop.
I was watching the angle where it's like facing the actual stand behind the goal where Garnacho scored. And when he scored that, when it went in, the amount of hands that went to people's heads, literally, I could see it all over the stands. Both tiers, just people go.
Mine did. I went, what has he just done there?
How? Why? Why us? Why does this have to happen to us?
Big up Carl Rossi, the man Rossi.
Big up Carl Rossi, man.
Every time Everton got a little bit of momentum, though, didn't they? Man United they got the penalty straight after Everton had a couple of chances. They've done it all season, Man United. They've limped, but they've always managed to get over the line. It's it's so frustrating at the same time. I mean, the wife's saying we're playing terrible and we're still above you in the league up until the weekend. And I'm like, how are you above us in the league? The football you're playing on. Honestly.
How are we sat in 6th place after 13 games played with a 0 goal difference?
Bruv, how are
Tottenham
Tottenham how are Tottenham close to the top after losing 3 games in a row? Bro, if this was 2005, 2014, 2015, that's your title charge finished. That's your season done. You've gone from competing for first. Now you're battling it out for top 4. Like even when later on, people still expect City to shoot off later on and just be like a firework and leave everyone else behind again. So realistically, everyone's already lost when they get De Bruyne in January back. I hate the way the Premier League is now. I really hate it because it's all just everything's just there to make Man City look pretty, and it's just like fuck off. We've taken titles off of them. When Conte first came in for the Premier League, he slapped Pep. We beat them 3-1 in their own backyard. We've taken a Champions League off of them. We're too cool. What's all this love about? Oh, Man City are indestructible. No, they're not. Like people were saying the same thing about Man United 20 years ago. All this. Everyone paints up City too much, man. I can't stand it, bro. Like invincible and indestructible. They're not, man. And I think Man United are a good example of even when you've got good players, they can sometimes still get you over the line. But if everyone else was consistent, even Man City would be left in the dust by now. Can you imagine if, say, Spurs had won that? Okay, God forbid they beat us, but can you imagine if they'd won those 3 games? They'd be what 7 points to City. But yeah, I digress, man. It's weird. Sorry, would it be about 3 or 4?
About 5, I think, because they're 4 points behind Arsenal right now.
So add 9.
First place. Yeah.
Well, yeah, add 9, 5. Yeah, it'd be 5. Add 9.
Just shows you Madison getting injured for them as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and the defender.
Crippled him.
Van der Ven, yeah.
Big up Mama Flossie. Always got member of the Wolfpack here. Always got a big up Mama Flossie. Hello, ma'am. How you doing, Queen? Hope you're doing well, as always. But yes, I'm grateful we've got some Newcastle fans in the house because let me just now quickly move on because obviously we've got to talk about the Champions League last night. Now, we have to start with Newcastle. And I'm going to go around everyone here and I'm going to ask my bro Bantz to start. Right, now I've watched it. I'll give my opinion last because I've got the rule in front of me. But I've got to throw it to Bantz. How do you feel about that handball?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about the game quickly because I watched that game yesterday. And as much as I don't like Newcastle that much anymore, I used to like them because my brother's a Newcastle supporter, innit? So it's just like...
That's why he hates them.
Hate's too strong of a word, but I just don't like them. But anyway, I felt that Newcastle were really good yesterday. It almost felt like Newcastle were just going to go on and just win that game. You know, a nice little 1-0 win. You know, because PSG, they were doing. I hate when teams start to do the girly shit, and no disrespect to women, but it's just like the down and going up to the ref like, give this guy a card and all that. Did you see Mbappe yesterday? The way he was carrying on with the ref, like every minute, all the players just surrounding the referee. I just thought that was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be like...
He's a ninja turtle, bruv. You're supposed to be used to the combat, bro.
Yeah, you're supposed to be a
hard show.
And here we are. We've got Newcastle, showing you up. They battered you in the first game. Was it 4-1? And now they're beating you 1-0. Very good goal by Isak. And one player that I do really like in Newcastle is that Livramento. The way he plays, man.
Ex-Chelsea boy.
Yeah, he's solid, bro. Yeah, you know the way he was just weaving in and out of that defense, and he just cut the ball, and then
I felt so sorry for him last night, man.
You know what the thing is with Newcastle is that as much as I hate Chelsea, by the way, I can't hate Newcastle. I can't hate Newcastle because you know what, they went into that game as the underdogs. You know, everyone was expecting PSG to just do their thing, but they didn't do their thing. And Newcastle kept it tight, and this leads me on to the decision now. So, watching the game's nearly done now. So I've seen the ball, So the ball's... So I can't remember who crossed it. Was it Mbappe who crossed it? Who crossed it? So I can't remember who crossed it.
Good question.
Dembele.
Yeah, he crossed it and it's hit his chest and then it's hit his arm. So I'm thinking, come on, let's play on. And then the ball's gone. All of a sudden, I think, did the ball go back to the goalkeeper?
Yeah, roll back to him.
And yeah, roll back to the goalkeeper. And then all of the players started running around the referee and doing all the rubbish and stuff like that. I was thinking, do you know what? That could never in a million years, as much as the karma is coming back, I don't care. Do you know what? Fairness is fairness. And for me, that is 100% not a penalty. I don't know how the referee, how it went to VAR, and then VAR gave the decision to the referee to make the decision, and he gave a penalty. I was just like, there's corruption, mate. There's big corruption in football. A top referee like that gave a penalty. That was just weak sauce, man. I hated that decision. That was bollocks. Newcastle should have won that game 1-0 and have.
The question is, what's been said in his ear for him to make a decision? He's confident. He's confident that he's made the right decision. What's been said in his ear when he's looking at it? He knows the rule. The rules are if a ball strikes a player on a part of his body, then up, deflects towards his arm. If his arm's in natural position, then it's not a penalty. It's what the thought process is for that. I think it's a lack of bollocks from the referee. Personally, stand by your decision. But he's probably thinking, oh, well, because there's more than one person in the VAR room, isn't there? There's obviously more than one person in his ear saying, well, we think this, we think that. At the end of the day, I'm refereeing. The decision should come to him. Okay, I appreciate you showing us that I might have missed something, but I stand by my decision. And the fact that none of them have got the bottle to do it tells me that the game is going to be in trouble in time, because if we don't start pushing against VAR, or VAR's used for what it should be used for clear and obvious errors, that's not a clear and obvious error.
Yeah, exactly. Absolute farcical, man, that decision.
Well,
I said to the wife last night, that's a great train robbery. Ronnie Briggs would have been happy with that. I mean, what did they get? 16 million? We're probably going to lose 40 million if we don't get out of the group stage. And that's going to, even we could win against Milan and still not go through now.
That's true. Well, I was just about to ask you, I know the ramifications, and I'll get back onto that in a minute, but you might as well. What did you think of the performance overall, though, Andy? Because you got to be proud of them.
Oh, don't get us wrong. Before the game, I said to the wife, if we can get a draw out of this, it would be a good result. But not under the circumstances of what we watched, because we fought like tooth and nail. It was an old-fashioned, right, we've got a 1-0 lead, let's do a Mourinho and sit behind the ball and try and break. And we did, the amount of blocked shots. Had PSG scored a goal late on, they would have deserved a point. Let's be honest, because they had chances. Port made an amazing save with his knee. I didn't even see the save. I thought the defender, what a save. They had chances. Had they gotten a late goal, I think we could have said we were very unlucky and we deserved a point. PSG quite fortunate, but to lose the game under them circumstances, like you say, Livramento must have covered. I'd be surprised if he didn't do 14 kilometres last night. He was everywhere. Miggy getting back, a young 17-year-old playing. Isaac having to come straight back from an injury and play another 90 minutes. You couldn't have asked for any more from the players. Wow, and then for them to lose it, and not lose it, but lose the momentum. We had it in our hands at that point. If we beat Milan, we're through. But now it's not. And I think that's the thing that's hurting everybody, because we couldn't even make a substitution. It was that desperate, let's be honest. We couldn't even make a sub.
I hear you. It's frustrating, and I'll come on because I'll speak last about this. Fuzzy, what do you think about it? Performance, obviously the decision at the end.
Yeah, I think with the performance, it's one of those sort of classic, European away days for English clubs, because you hear it from punditry a lot of the time. Oh, that as long as these guys can go, they can nick a goal and then defend and bring home something, at least to draw, then it's a positive to take away. Obviously, with Newcastle's case, that's much more important at this stage, because it's first time for a long time that you've been in the competition. You want to take away as much as you can from the away games, and little by little, just getting points onto the board. As long as you are picking up a win here or there at home, which you have done against PSG, and I believe it was someone else that you've is it 2 draws now, or
2 draws, 2 win and 2 defeats. Yeah, we got beat home and away against Dortmund, 0-0 draw at AC Milan, beat PSG at home, and then obviously a draw today. Last night, sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, that sets up for a good game for you at home. I think it's AC Milan at home. It's your last game now, and I think Dortmund beat them 3-1 away or something now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I just hope Dortmund do us a favour when they play PSG, because Dortmund have already qualified, so they might rest players. You don't know. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I think the performance for Newcastle it was what it needed to be. I think the way in which the penalty happens at the end of the game, again, I don't think it's a penalty, and something that resonates with me is a similar decision in the I believe it's the Europa League. Yeah, Europa League. When we played Real Sociedad at home, I don't know if anybody had seen the highlights of that penalty decision when Lisandro Martinez goes to block a shot. It's a low shot,
I remember that. Yeah,
comes off his leg and then bounces up onto his arm. And the referee is just like, penalty. But everyone knew it wasn't a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a similar situation here. That ball gets hit, like shot very, very close range. First hits the torso and then goes up onto the arm. And it's just like, it's not like someone's, like, what was it, Liverpool, a game at Anfield where somebody kicked the ball and someone's arm was all the way out here, and you're just like, well, that's just unnatural, and you can't make your body big like that in the box.
Yeah.
But Livramento doesn't do that to stop the shot. His arm's just beside him, but he goes to defend it with his torso, and then the ball bounces off and goes up. It's like an RNG thing. It's just random chancing, random luck. And I think the referee, he gave it originally as it's not a penalty. Was it VAR had to went and overturned it, or was that?
Yeah, he didn't give I don't think the referee gave a penalty at all. It was VAR that asked him to reconsider his decision. This is the thing, isn't it? I mean, I remember the decision you're on about at the time, and I can totally appreciate if Livramento's on the line defending and it hits his arm, stops the ball going over the goal line, then you can argue it stopped a potential goal, even though it would be still harsh. But you're going to get players just flicking the ball up against players' arms from a few yards away. It's,
hang on,
you know,
bear that in mind. No. Bear that in mind what you just said, Drew, because one thing about you're right in what you've just said in terms of how we would see the spirit of the law. But I've got the rule in front of me, and I'll read it out in a minute if Fuzzy's finished speaking about the technicality of the law, and I've got it written, and I'll read it out. By their own definition and interpretation, it's not in penalty. And if Fuzzy and you are finished, I'll say my bit.
Yeah.
But go on, Fuzzy. Sorry, Andrew. Finish if you need to. Bro. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off.
No, go on.
Sorry, Fuzzy.
No, I'll pretty much finish what I was saying, because regarding the penalty, that was a comparison that I think resonates with me, because it's a similar type story. Player kicks a ball, hits a person or part of the body. That's perfectly legal, but it's just random where the ball goes after that. It's like this person. And the thing is with Martinez's one, he had his arm tucked on his body as well, and even then the ball contacts the arm, and they were just like, no, that's a penalty. Like, I think there's something not right with handballs in European competitions. There's a different perception to it, or a different sort of leniency.
We've always been like that, haven't it? There's always been that kind of slight variation of the rules in England compared to Europe.
I think that's what I think that's what you get anyway. I know a lot of us as Premier League fans say, "Oh, you should get referees from like other countries, from Europe and places like that." In those competitions, you are getting those referees, and that's why it feels a little bit different. Two ends of it being, that's this referee keeps messing up in this regard. The Premier League referees mess up constantly in that regards, and I feel like there's this is constant. There's a constant with officials in the modern game whether it be, referees in this country or referees in the other countries. I mean, it seems to be that it's always baffling decisions, and I think VAR just in general, they seem to have caused a lot more headache than for what it's worth.
Well, on
Just
that,
to chime in-
Sorry,
No,
Nick.
just to chime in quickly. I think as well, yeah, and let's just going away from the penalty just for one moment. I think that the PSG should be fined as well for the way their players were demonstrating around the referee
facts,
as well.
very
Because
facts.
we
Fact.
want to move away from this type
Big
of
up,
behavior.
Bantz, for bringing that
but
up.
We're just seeing this behavior constantly, and the way PSG were going on, it's like, well, yeah, you got your penalty, but the way you carried on intimidating the ref, you lot should, even though you've got all the money in the world and stuff, yeah, you still should receive a fine. But, yeah,
100%.
Right. I'm going to chime in right there as well because, right, this is what I want to bring into everyone's attention. Now, my view on the game was Newcastle, it was a very scrappy performance. They were battling extremely hard. They were running extremely hard. And when they produced that little bit of moment of quality on the counter-attack and they opened up PSG, Isaac, however you want to describe his name, got a nice finish. And then they started running around and being dogged. PSG did have a lot of chances they should have made better of. They had 2 or 3 really, really good chances that they should have taken, but they didn't. So I'll also bear that in mind. But this is what I don't understand. With that decision, right, and with the handball, like Bantz pointed out earlier on as well, he'd already made his on-field decision. Like, he'd looked at it, waved it off, sprinted down the pitch, and then quite rightly, they all followed him because all the PSG players stopped playing.
Yeah.
They did. They stopped playing and they started just surrounding him. Now, going to what I was saying, and we were saying a minute about consistency with the referees, and Fuzzy pointed it out with the Man United penalty. If that's in the Premier League, all of them players are getting booked.
Yeah.
If you look about the consistency of the Premier League, even look at how what's his name? Lewis Dunk got sent off the other day. Man's walking away giving mouth. He's not even around the referee, and he still gives him a second yellow card to send him off.
Yep.
And they got and it wasn't we all got told at the beginning of the season, any players trying to intimidate or get in a ref's face or influence his decisions would automatically be booked. Or did I miss something?
We've seen many occasions of it this season where players are getting booked for either insinuating another player needs to be booked or anything like that. But it's so, as you said, it's so inconsistent when they're doing it. You see Bruno Fernandes sprinting, he burst into a sprint, probably his only sprint that he did do the weekend, to run up against a referee. He had his hand on the back of the referee, and you're like, hang on, like you just said, it's influenced the referee's decision or intimidating them, or getting, the whole team around him. The captain's responsible for his players. The captain should be the first person booked.
No doubt. And that's right, because that's the responsibility. It's down to you to control your team. Now, this is what I don't get, and I think Drew said it earlier, right? If the referee has made his on-field decision, and right, now let me read out the rule to you guys, right? I've got the rule right here sitting in front of me, right? Right. By UEFA guidelines say, no handball offence should be called on a player if the ball previously deflected from his own body, in particular when the ball does not go towards the goal. However, this is a UEFA recommendation from the Football Board, which includes some coaches like Gareth Southgate and Gareth Bale and all that kind of thing. But their guidelines are not very specific, but they do say this, right? Deliberate touches of the ball with the hand or arm, for example, moving the ball towards the arm is a penalty. Touches the ball with the hand or arm when the body is made to be unnaturally bigger, like when a player has his hands above his head or got his elbows up in an unjustifiable position, like when he's jumping or whatever else. And the other one is scores directly against an opponent. Basically, obviously, if you put your hand down and obviously someone scores from it, obviously it shouldn't count. That's common sense, really, isn't it? Now, this is what deliberately touches the ball. This is the first point. I got it right at the top. Ball point number 1. It says deliberately touches the ball with the hand, arm, for example, moving towards the ball. Right. Anyone with half an eyeball can see his arm never moves. From the moment the ball is kicked, right, until it hits off his chest, his arm is like this because he's running backwards to try and cover the gap. Now, what as Drew said, has VAR said to the referee to convince him that is a penalty and that needs to be looked at? What's possibly been said? Because by your own definition of rule, like Kate and point and case, it's not a penalty. So come out, like, what justifiable reason is there for it giving a penalty?
What is there to change his mind?
Right, facts. Hang on, exactly. Facts, Mama Flossie. It's
surely viewing it hasn't changed his mind.
Yeah.
Really seeing the replay hasn't changed his mind, because if it has, then he shouldn't be a referee.
Now we go back to what Bantz was saying. I don't believe it was a penalty, like, and it was the PSG players doing all that, plus the crowd, obviously, because obviously you got the crowd around as well, like boosts like the idea of a bit of intimidation. But ultimately, even when you watch the replay, you can still see his arm doesn't move.
Yeah. I think his arse fell out. I honestly think the referee's arse fell out. He noticed the crowd was getting objective towards him and the players.
Let me deep this for a second. It's like you walking into a shop, buying something, walking out with the receipt, then someone telling you stealing it.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, what? Like, use your, like, hello? Like, use your eyes. Like, what are you seeing? Like, seriously, I'm not even joking when I say this. What did he see that was a penalty? What? Did, like, Odegaard's ghost from Christmas Past suddenly pass in, or what? Like, I'm not even taking the mick. No, I'm being serious, but I'm not taking the mickey. Even as a football fan, I feel for Newcastle. And you don't have to, like, worry about me relating to robbery in the Champions League, bro. If anyone here hasn't seen it, watch the second leg, Barcelona versus Chelsea.
I've seen it when you should have about 4 penalties.
2000. You want robbery?
Yeah. I've seen.
You want robbery in the Champions League, bro? Yeah. I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, big shout out to Yeti as well, because he had the other biggest one, right? Because it's been proven, and anyone that doesn't believe me, if you want to know how corrupt Europe is, Anderlecht were caught bribing a referee 10 grand in a European Cup final. They got found guilty. Fined, the referee was banned for life, and they got told to pay £10 million fine. They appealed it, they still got the trophy, and the charges reversed, and he was still be able to keep compete in Europe, and they kept the trophy.
Have you ever watched Under the Kosh podcast?
Yeah, of course I've watched Under the Kosh podcast.
If you watch Jeff Winter's one, he said there was times when they would go to pre-season tournaments with Man United and whatnot, and they would be putting 5-star hotels, hospitality, giving watches. These are things that might not be a bribe, but it's influencing someone's feelings towards a club. It might not be, there's a watch, we want to make sure we get a penalty. What it is I'm treating you beyond what's expected, so you will be looked favourably upon us.
Wow.
It's been around. There's so many ways of doing it, mate. And the only thing that you can really explain some of the decisions that we've seen since VAR's come out is there is corruption in the game. And I've always said it, we're not stupid. Boxing's got it, it's going to happen. Wherever there's money to be made, there's going to be corruption. The problem is when you've got a tool there to stop it and you're not using it.
Well, all I'm going to say is about it, because I'm going to move on to Arsenal and Man United, and I respect it. I'll start with Man United but in a second. But yeah, I really felt for Liverpool, Newcastle last night. Sorry, because it was just one of those ones where it was just so wrong. It was just
such a shame, mate.
It was.
That we're not talking about how good we were.
Yeah, well, that's it.
All we're talking, in general on the internet, all that's been spoken about is that decision, not how good a Newcastle team that had 5 people on the bench. 2 of them, had 6 on the bench, 2 goalkeepers, 3 youngins. The only senior players were Dummett and Lewis Hall. I mean, senior player Lewis Hall. He's younger than Nelly's my daughter.
He's not no experienced veteran player. Not by
it's such a shame that so many times this season it's always been, did you see that decision last night? Did you see the decision weekend? Did you see how good the team was? Did you see this performance? It's taken away. I mean, how many times have we been watching a football game this season? You've scored a goal and you don't want to jump up and down because you're going to look like a right prat when it gets disallowed, or vice versa.
Wolf, we spoke about this, didn't we, Wolf, recently about
football is dead.
Violence,
And it's worse when you're at the ground because you could do, at least when you're watching it at home, you know it's going to VAR. The commentators will say they're getting the notification. Said when you're in the crowd, you haven't got a clue what's going on.
Everyone is like, look at the screens going on. Referees standing around.
Yeah, it's got to either improve or it's got to go to a vote. I said to Tony today, I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, but what if the FA give the two teams on a set weekend and say, look, if you both agree not to have VAR, then we can go ahead with this game without VAR. Yeah, but both managers and coaches have got to agree, or players, for example. That way, if there's a decision and the referee makes a clanger, he makes a clanger. You know what I mean? You can't come back and then say, well, we should have had VAR, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think it's possibly a way forward. They might trial it somewhere, I don't know. But for me, it's sucking the life out of football.
Well, it needs to be fixed because sooner or later, people are going to stop watching it because I'm not being funny. Football is getting like Disney. It's played out. It's just, enough. Can we have enough of the same shit over and over and over and over again, please? It's just like enough because you're killing people.
Anyway, I think we should segue now into tonight's fixtures. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I was going to start off with Fuzzy, unless you want to start off with Arsenal.
No. I want to go with Fuzzy first.
Well, we've got to start with me first because my game kicks off in about 4 minutes.
I know.
It's crazy early midweek. I can't imagine the amount of traffic.
Yeah, because they're 3 hours ahead, I believe. Are they 3 hours
in Istanbul?
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Which is strange. It's strange because I thought it was to do with time zones, but apparently Sevilla are hosting their game against PSV, obviously in south of Spain. They're also a 5:45 kickoff, which is peculiar.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, that's yeah, man.
Well, either way, you got the Turks, Roy. How do you feel about that, man? Do you reckon you'll beat them because you guys are struggling in the Champions League? You're bottom of your group.
Well, there's no telling what's going to happen. I mean, after losing away to Copenhagen, I said, look, Champions League is over. Because if you can't beat Copenhagen and the way in which we lost that, why do we beat Galatasaray? Why do we beat Bayern Munich? Like, it's those sort of questions you have to ask. And I suppose with the kind of teams that we lined up with in recent times, and I suppose with the Everton game, a defense that's more adept to soaking up attacking pressure and then breaking away more on the counter. And I feel like a lot of our goals or goal scoring opportunities came from attacking movements from deep on the pitch. It wasn't like one of those patient pass move and build up type plays. It was a bit more direct. And I think if we've got a team that's playing or instructed to play more direct, I mean, with this team that we're starting with tonight, there's a few changes from Everton, which I'm not overly convinced with. But I suppose Galatasaray as well, they came to Old Trafford and they played a really expansive open game. Like, it was mental how we didn't score more goals. Like, absolutely crazy. Like, they're so wide open. And whether they do the same thing here, and I imagine that they would do because, they're at home. They've got a crazy atmosphere. Literally 45 minutes before kickoff, it sounded like a home, absolutely mental atmosphere.
Don't mess the Turkish love the ball, bro.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm telling you, yeah.
Absolutely.
Are you actually looking at the game now? Look at the stadium.
With the flares, the flares out yet, and the flares out yet. And the flares
probably.
Right, if you guys want to
welcome to hell, it says welcome to hell.
That's what I was just about to say, bruv. If you want a mad game, watch Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. They called it the Hell Derby. The Hell Derby. They burn the opposition shirts at the front of the stands and everything, man. They don't play.
I'm a secret Galatasaray fan because that's what I go every year. So
I was in Turkey for my honeymoon when Galatasaray played Fenerbahce. And the whole town was like, they love their football,
they love it.
Like with a passion as well, and they don't like getting beat.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
What I reckon, though, what I was going to say to you, Fuzzy, though, and where I feel that you can beat them is if you score early. because that might shut the crowd up for a little while.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Man United can defend as well. They can defend when they need to, you know. But it's going to be, you know, I think the first 20 minutes is just going to be just like, you know what, weathering the storm. If you can weather the storm for the first 20 minutes, maybe get an early goal, then you know what. I mean, you know, grab an early goal in the second half, then I think you guys can beat them. But I don't want you to beat them. I'm saying, you just give me a little bit of advice.
You say you're still Man United. He still hates you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Arsenal, Man United. Come on now, come on. That goes way back.
Hang on. Just before we carry on, pick up everyone in the chat, by the way. Mama Flossie, DJ Crane, you know, Drew, Danny, everyone. Please, the boys' channels are at the top. If you haven't subscribed to Bantz and if you haven't subscribed to Fuzzy, please do so. Please help my boys grow. I love them to bits. They're the reason why I come on YouTube. I love spending time with these guys. I don't know if Andy's got a. You don't have it.
No, mate. I used to go on NFTV back in the day, but they don't do any watch-alongs or anything like that now. It's mostly anything that Steve introduces just people like yourself and whatnot. And if you like the banter and I get asked, I'll come on. You know, it's something I'm looking at possibly in the future, but I need to get a room sorted. Because if I'm going to do it, I would like to have something like that where Bantz has got like the full deal. I don't want to just be sitting in my kitchen or out there. I want to. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to try and do it properly.
All right. Well,
I'm sitting in my basement at the moment, mate. What are you talking about now?
He's doing a Home Alone, bro. Like,
I'm telling
he's
you,
doing a dishwasher.
Speaking of kitchen, I'm going to have to go in a couple of minutes. Just the wife's just shouted us there for tea, I think. So I'll have to be quick.
Well, no worries. Well, what do you say? Let me just quickly ask Drew if he's got a shoot. How do you feel Arsenal and Man United are going to do tonight? Because if you got a shoot, we might as well just get your opinion quickly.
Sorry, do you repeat the question? I thought you were talking about Bantz. Sorry, mate.
No. I said, how do you think Man United and Arsenal will do tonight?
I fancy the Man United game to be a tough one. I do fancy them to win. They just seem to fall in a barrel of thumbs and come out sucking a tit, don't they, at the minute? So it's they seem to be able to pull up results in the unexpected with bad performances. So I would go Man United to bad performance or get a result. Yeah. And I fancy Arsenal to turn up and give Lens a really, really good. Lens are a good side, but I think Arsenal turn them over tonight by a couple of goals.
Yeah, they're at home.
Yeah, that's it. But they are. I wouldn't be surprised if they go behind as well. So a lot of the time, Arsenal need walk up in games. I think watching them as a neutral, if they go behind, it sometimes gives them the kick up the arse they need.
Yeah, that's true. But dude, if you got to shoot off your dinner, thank you for your time.
Take care. Thank you very much for having us on. Lads, all the best, and thanks everyone in the chat.
Sorry about the weekend, by the way. But
great you too, mate.
Take care.
All the best, buddy.
Look after. Look, Fuzz. So, what's your predictions for this game, man? How do you feel? What do you think the score is going to be?
Well, my match preview, I said that if Everton's anything to go by, that play a little bit like that. And soak up the pressure. Use your chances well. Be a bit more direct. I predicted that it'd be something like a 2-1 sort of game, but based off of our defence, if we're not direct, if we're not taking our chances, we might get that goal. But it's one of those things that Galatasaray is just going to be more sort of just the balls in their court pretty much all game. Just recycling the chances over and over again, and that's going to look a bit like what the stats said against Everton, where they had like 20 attempts with 9 on target. We had 9 attempts, but we scored 3 goals. It might show for that with that kind of reading, but there's reason to be a little bit positive. Off the back of a 3-0 away.
You can if you turn up.
Similar, I think. As far as the teams go, like player quality per position, I think Everton and Galatasaray are probably about the same, a similar level. But Galatasaray, they're not managed by Sean Dyche. They're a team that's managed by someone who wants to go out and attack and create chances, play open, play expansive. They'll
go at you. Yeah. Who are you most worried about out of all the Galatasaray? What, Icardi?
No, probably more Wilfried Zaha.
Why Zaha?
Well, actually, Zaha. No, probably more Dries Mertens actually.
Oh yeah, he's a baller, that one, isn't he? What is he? He's like 32 now or something.
He's
like
older
that?
now. He's about
30.
30.
Yeah.
Is he 36?
The belt, yeah, he's been around for ages, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Belgium international, he's been around for ages, bro. But
I was gonna go hot fast quickly. So, just say the worst scenario, you go out today or something like that. It's not the end of the world for you guys, is it?
Not really. Well, not
drop down to
necessarily. No. I mean,
Europa or
well, they might not be able to get that far if they lose.
well, no. I mean, imagine if Copenhagen managed to cause an upset against Bayern. That straight away is curtains. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. You know,
is that
oh,
bad?
they got a chance. They got a chance. Galatasaray. Oh no, they've got your ex-Chelsea player as well. What's his name?
see it.
Yeah.
I know. I was quietly going to mention him as well, but you've just done it. But never mind.
They've got their
Players.
their
They've got
midfield. Their midfield contains the red and whites of North London. Got Ndombele, and next to him Lucas Torreira.
Yeah. That's correct.
So they've
Lucas
got a
Torreira.
fighting team then.
It's
They've got
quite
ballers,
attack
bro.
heavy. It's quite attack
They
heavy.
got ballers, man. It's not a joke team. They did open up quite a few times. But hang on, but on that said, let's quickly flip to Arsenal because you got Lens at home tonight, Bantz.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think we're comfortably beat them tonight. The first game away at their ground, we got smoked. That was our first game, isn't it? Like in the Champions League, we weren't ready for it. I think we're comfortably beat them tonight. Whether it be high goal scoring competition, I don't think so. But you never know because Champions League nights we tend to be a little bit more free, open. There seems to be a bit more open play in terms of both teams on Champions League night. So, is it a case of Martinelli and Saka when they get more space, on the ball, and because in the Premier League it's so like tight with the, you've got two guys doubling up on them usually. I think they'll have a little bit more freedom tonight. It's at the Emirates. The crowd's going to be behind us, so I think we're comfortably beat them. I think we're comfortably beat them. So I'm going for a win tonight, and we go through tonight.
What do you think the score would be? 2-0?
No, I think they may score. So I'm going to say a 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
Fair enough. What? Galatasaray look like they're already bringing it to Manchester United as well. So
yeah. But as I said,
we almost got one.
Yeah, you did.
If Galatasaray don't score in the first 20 minutes, United will build confidence, and smash and grab.
Is Højlund the keeper Man United tonight?
Also goal. Oh.
Yeah, Højlund.
That's what I was. Yeah, you did almost miss that.
Got Anthony on the right, Garnacho's on the left, and it was Garnacho a give and go. It plays a pass back to I think it was Amrabat there or Fernandez, and he just got on his bike into space. And that space there is what we're going to get a lot of, and we've got to use it well.
Yes, you do. But anyway, I'll tell you what, because everyone's starting to get into the game, let's round this up then, because obviously we've gone for about 50 minutes and everyone's starting to get into the match. So, but Bantz, big up your channel, my brother, because obviously you're the co-host. So, you want to big up your channel?
Yeah, man. You can catch me on our Football Bantz channel on Instagram and also on Facebook. On Facebook, I've put a lot of memes up. If you notice on Facebook, there's a lot of memes, just memes everywhere. On Instagram, same thing as well. And on YouTube as well, you can catch me on here as well. So, yeah, man, it's been a great show today, episode 1. Hopefully, we'll be back again next week.
We will.
We didn't even talk about this week's Premier League games, but we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to do, because obviously with the Champions League thing, I thought really, because it was such a big talking point, it deserved a bit of time. And with Andrew on, of course, I had to give him his, because obviously it was heartbreaking for them last night, and it needed to be spoken about. So yeah, but always next week. So there's no drama, no problema. Fuzzy, you? Yeah, big up yourself, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much for allowing me on the show. It's been a pleasure and great privilege to speak to both you, Football Bantz, and also to Andy as well. Great to meet him. But yeah, find me on HotFuzz44OG on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram. I share the same profile picture, so I'm quite easy to find with a simple search. Of course, as my team's currently playing at the moment, I will be doing a match reaction very soon after the game, and
I might
hopefully
have to tune into that. You know, I might have to tune into that.
hopefully
will
it's
be.
not one where there's just tears streaming down my face. Having to like do this to my camera, I might just have to hide. Just to
Yeah.
put my camera cover across. But yeah, man.
I think Fuzzy might be doing a Christian Bale later. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you know we're Manchester United? Do you know who we are?
I wish. I wish. Mate,
Well,
if this game ends up something like a 3-4-0 or something crazy like that to United,
No.
then maybe I'll come with a bit of bass to my voice. But...
What happens if this game's a draw?
Nothing.
You still got a chance.
Well,
do you have to win tonight?
It depends on what Copenhagen.
Yeah, but Copenhagen are going to lose, aren't they? They're not going to beat.
Yeah, but they could beat Galatasaray in the last game, and
we could go to the last game.
Yeah,
it depends because if
they are
United
home
get
as
beaten,
well. Copenhagen play at home as well. They got a 2-2 draw against Galatasaray here.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke.
Easy. It ain't easy.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It ain't easy being greasy, and Man United fans know that, boy. But anyway,
what about your channel, Wolf? What about your channel, mate?
we're on my channel.
I know, but you still got to pick up your channel, though. You still got to pick up the channel, though.
Find me where you've just found me now.
Subscribe to what's currently on your screen. See the subscribe button. Click that.
Look down. You'll see the little picture of the wolf. Click on that and hit the like and subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah. Click the like. Make sure you click the like and subscribe because we need that to get out to other, audiences.
Yeah.
Well,
And you can find me on Tony's channel in about an hour or so anyway because he's got me on the watch. Oh, Bantz, you jumping on that?
Yeah, I'm jumping on that, but hold on. You got to put, it says the Bantz and Wolfy show. You got to put EP1 or something so people know it's the episode 1.
When I do it next week, it'll be Wolf and Bantsy 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Because believe it or not, I'm old fashioned. I actually start counting from 0, so I just go like 0, then 1, 2, 3, a bit silly, but it's just the way I do things. But anyway, boys, I'm actually starting to get into the Galatasaray game myself, so. I'll see everyone on the flip side. Take care. Stay safe. Bless everyone in the chat, by the way. Thank you for watching. And we are out.
Peace, people.